I guess when the jail is ready to proceed, we'll get going.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon. How are you all doing?
Hey, we got a big one today.
Okay, we're ready to get started whenever you all are.
I'm ready. We're gonna go with position 29, Mrs. Rafael Rodriguez.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Rodriguez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001696Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? Good afternoon.
Hey, second arrest, violation of family violence order, conviction out of Cobb County, and she has a Cobb County hold.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2836 Waters Road, I believe. They met with the victim, Ms. LaWanda Haynes. Apparently, they were having some type of domestic dispute where the defendant threw a cell phone at the victim, striking her with the cell phone. We are asking for a no contact, a stay away, a $1,500 surety, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Of course, we would sign for the victim, Ms. LaWanda Haynes.
Ms. Haynes is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so.
Your Honor, I believe that she was arrested. This was.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. You can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 19 years old. She tells me that she was jumped in the shower where she lives. She lives in what she describes as a trans house, Your Honor, and she was ambushed in the shower and attacked. She was the one who called the police. She has scratches all over and her eyes, her arms. She was the one who called the police, Your Honor. And the other person was arrested.
Yeah, I was arrested because I had a warrant
And
a year ago.
she tells me that the reason why she was arrested was because of that hold in Cobb County. And the Cobb County hold arose out of a situation with her mother, when her mother essentially put her out of the house. So the family, the restraining order that she is alleged to have violated was by her mother. I just wanted the court to have some background to that. My client is, she needs to get out. She has scratches. Don't speak out of you. She has scratches and bruises on her eyes and her arms everywhere, Your Honor. She was attacked. So I would ask the court to give her a signature bond so she can get out of jail. Well, she apparently has a hold in Cobb County, so she could be released to the hold in Cobb County.
So, LaWanda Haynes is Ms. Rodriguez's mother?
It's her mother, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, and does she need Who lives at the Waters Grove address?
And she lives there. It's what she describes as a trans house that she lives. So she sort of has like roommates.
Okay,
And
does her mother live at that
No,
address
her
also?
mother does not live there.
Oh, okay. Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with LaWanda Haynes, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I believe that Ms. Haynes is position number 14 on our calendar today. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount again?
3,000.
3,000 signature through the jail.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Morning.
Afternoon, Officer Milton. Let's see.
Good seeing you too, sir. I have
Oh.
before you position 32, Miss Ward. She is Miss McLeod's client also. Where did she go?
Ms. McLeod still with us?
Down here.
Sit down, brother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Officer Milton has Brittany Ward, position number 32, who I believe is your client also. Are we ready with Miss Ward?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Ward. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. How you doing
Okay.
today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Ms. Ward. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001718J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fourth arrest, 2017, out of Toledo, Ohio. Domestic violence and assault. That was dismissed. That's it.
Yes, Sharon, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the incident location, and this is a dual arrest. The cross defendant is Miss Antoinette Jones. They had a physical altercation where Brittany Ward struck Miss Antoinette Jones with a waffle maker. We are asking for a $2,000 surety bond. No contact with Miss Antoinette Jones. I'll defer to the court as far as the stay away because I do believe they both reside at that location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Well,
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. She is the mother of 3 minor children. They live with her at the address, Your Honor. She tells me that this was a situation where she was attacked by the other person who was arrested, and that person's adult son who's 21 years old. My client was the one who actually called the police because she had been jumped in front of her minor children by these people. She is very concerned about the children, Your Honor, because she has somebody watching them right now, but she needs to get home to take care of them. Based on what pretrial has said, she has no significant criminal history. One arrest, one incident was mentioned, and that was dismissed. And I know, based on my conversation with her, that she has absolutely no record whatsoever. She's been in Georgia for the past 4 years, she tells me. I would ask a signature bond for her through the jail, Your Honor. Nothing further.
there'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Antoinette Jones, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Ward.
Can I ask you a question, Your Honor?
You can ask your lawyer. You have a right to remain silent, Ms. Ward. Anything you say can be used against you. If you need to ask Ms. McLeod a question, I'm sure that she'll give you a call after the court session today.
Please do.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I apologize. What was that bond amount again?
$2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
Much appreciative, sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you're fine. Let me just make a real quick announcement to the whole, to everyone there, so I don't have to keep repeating it since we have such a large crowd. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to prevent spread of the virus. If you have any objection to that, let me know when you come before me. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present. We're providing you with the assistance of either a public defender or a conflict defender today if you do not have your own personal attorney. Okay, who do we have next?
Your Honor, this is just the first rotation. You're gonna have to repeat it again for the second rotation.
Okay, if you'll just let me know when the second rotation's all seated and comes in. I'm just trying to get through this as quickly as possible today, Norris.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Next, we have position number 26, Parmar.
Yeah, the private attorney.
Oh.
let's see, is Mr. Palmer's attorney on with me? I see you there, Miss Chada.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Palmer. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001713C with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This Parmar, right?
Yes.
I got first arrest in jail.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2834 Ashley Lane, where they met with the victim, Miss Nancy Parmar. From my understanding that her and the defendant are married, they were having some type of verbal disagreement where the defendant became violent and struck her in the lip, causing swelling and bleeding from the mouth. This did occur in front of their juvenile child by the initials of MP. He was in the back seat of the car during this incident. And speaking with the police, the defendant admitted that he had hit his wife in the face. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Ms. Parmar. A stay away from the instant location. Requirement of an FBIP course. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I'm not sure if Ms. Nancy Parmar is on the line, but we will sound for the victim.
I see that Ms.
Your Honor.
Palmer is with us. If she chooses to address the court, she certainly does not have to, but if she chooses to address the court, now is her opportunity to do so. Ms. Parmar, if you would like to address the court, I need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Your Honor, my husband is a really good man. We want him at home. He's really good man. He would never do that. It's it's just a mistake, and it's just a little argument, and it just escalated. I was at wrong too, so I really want him home.
Has this ever happened before?
No, never. He's
on your-
really nice man. You can ask anybody. He's extremely nice man and extremely very like he's very like sorry, I don't have a words right now. He's very
And,
respectful.
we're just asking for a no violent contact. And we are understanding of the conditions, and we have no objection to what the state is asking for the FBIP and the signature bond. I do know Mrs. Farmer is very emotional, but she wants him to come back home. He is employed. He works as a mail carrier.
Mr. Chatter, I'm sorry. I was just in the middle of listening to Ms. Palmer. I'm happy to hear you. I'm going to need for you to come on camera for me, though. Also, there are some other questions that I need to ask Ms. Palmer. But I will certainly give you the opportunity to speak in turn, but I'll need for you to activate your camera for me, please.
I'm actually traveling. I'm not dressed for court, but I can definitely turn on my camera.
Okay, that'll be fine. And Ms. Palmer, the last question I need to ask you is, are you afraid of him?
No, not at all.
Okay, all
I
right.
had never afraid of him. Never.
All right, very good. Anything further, Mr. Chadar?
No, Your Honor, we just ask that you grant them a bond with those conditions and no violent contact.
Okay. For the battery family violence, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the cruelty, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ashley Palmer, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And just, I know the court is probably aware, but just to be clear, we did ask for F-5, Your Honor.
Yes, I understand. Good luck to you, Mr. and Ms. Palmer. You have
Your Honor, this
a-
court is not business with the court. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have next?
Position number 27, Martin Ponce.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ponce. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001712H with battery, terroristic threats and acts, and reckless conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10th arrest. Last was 2019, tampering with evidence. You don't have any violent arrests that I saw.
Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Mozzie's Sports Bar and Grill located at 10729 Alpharetta due to the defendant being in an altercation with the victim, Mr. Daniel Quintana. Apparently the defendant was a patron there. I don't know if he had too much to drink, but he became unruly. He assaulted Mr. Daniel Quintana. He also had a firearm, and based on, it's a pretty lengthy warrant, but it seems like he pulled the firearm and actually shot himself. The state is asking for, to the battery, a $1,500 surety bond. To the terroristic threats, we are asking for, wait 1 second. To the terroristic threats, we are asking for another $1,500 surety. To the reckless conduct, we are asking for a $5,000 surety. A no contact with the victim, and stay away from that instant location. Of course, we're asking for no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I'm not sure if Mr. Daniel Quintana is on the line, but we would sound for the victim.
Mr. Quintana is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear that he's with us. Yes, counsel, can you tell me your name?
Yes, Kaylee Wills.
The last name, please. I'm sorry.
Wills, W-I-L-L-S, Kaylee, from the Public Defender's Office.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Wills. Have you been before me before?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's hard to see you this afternoon with so many people here. Good afternoon, Ms. Wills. You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ponce is 34 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. He is a tattoo artist where he works for himself. He will not qualify to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. He does have 2 children, a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. And I would just ask for a signature bond, given my client's lack of violent history. And he's severely injured due to the gunshot wound that he has.
Your Honor, I just want to point out he does have a 2019 conviction for a similar charge, discharging a firearm.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. For each charge, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, makes for a total of a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Daniel Quintana, stay away from Mozzie in Alpharetta, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Ponce.
Thank you, Your Honor. Signature bonds. As soon as they can process you, you will have to pay and be released. But if you violate your bond, you're on the hook for the
Next, we have position number 14, LaWanda Haynes. Come on.
Alright.
And it's my understanding that he was the person who was, or she was the person that was arrested, with position number 29.
Yes.
Okay, so, Ms. Rodriguez, Ms. Haynes, you were charged in case 24 CR 001705E with simple battery, family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
32, 2023, out of what's that, Alabama? Public order crime, trespass. 2016 robbery conviction. 2014 robbery conviction. 2014 theft conviction.
Alright.
That's all I got.
Good afternoon, Mr. Graham.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. So, as you heard, this incident took place on April 6, 2024. There was a dispute at 2936 Waters Road Southwest. Upon arrival, Rafael Rodriguez stated that LaWanda Haynes grabbed him out of the shower, struck him several times with a closed fist. Your Honor, based on the history, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond, one-day anger awareness, no further contact with Rafael Rodriguez. Stay away from 2936 Waters Road Southwest. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client's position is that Ms. Rodriguez was the aggressor in this case. Also our position that the location is Ms. Haynes's primary location, and that Ms. Rodriguez is not there that often. So again, we would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. There's no problem with no further contact or stay away. No further contact with Ms. Rodriguez, but she would like to be able to go back to the Waters Road location.
Mr. Graham, I'm sorry, what was the state's bond recommendation? The amount?
State's recommendation, Your Honor, is $1,000 surety bond. The conditions.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's all I need to know.
No
I missed that part. Thank you. It's going to be a $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Haynes. Stay away from the Waters Grove address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that might be there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you. Who do we have next?
We can go to position number 1.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Abdul Rabbani. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001720B with discharge of a firearm on or near a public highway or street, reckless conduct, and unlawfully carrying of a weapon. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
2023 FTA, open obstruction, pedestrian in the roadway, in state court. 2023 theft by deception, and 2023 obstruction.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, on April the 5th, at approximately 2:30 in the afternoon, police was dispatched to the area of 10th Street and Techwood Drive due to shots being fired. Once officers arrived at the scene, they were able to review surveillance footage in the area. They captured the defendant shooting 5 rounds at cars that were entering on the I-75 on-ramp to the 1 count of discharging a firearm within close range of a highway. We are asking for a $10,000 surety bond. To the 1 count of reckless conduct, we are asking for a $5,000 surety bond. For carrying without a license, we are asking for a signature bond through pretrial. We are asking for no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and to stay away from that location of 10th Street and Techwood Drive.
Cook.
My client is essentially homeless and has significant funds, to apply towards a bond. We understand the severity of the accusations, but they are accusations, allegations at this point. In regard to this matter, we would simply ask, leave the matter up to the court's discretion.
For the discharge of a firearm, a $5,000 good bond, reckless conduct, $1,000 good bond, unlawful carrying, $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $7,000 good bond. Stay away from 10th Street and Techwood, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Abdur Rabbani.
We can go to position number 2.
Section, I've got to
You gotta go to
do the, I brought you up.
Did he have another charge? He's
no.
he is number 2 on my count, number 1 and number 2.
No, number 2 is the brother.
It's a different person.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got a courtroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go to position number 6, Brown Howard.
Number 2.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001688J with possession of marijuana less than an ounce, brake light or turn signal violation, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. 2022 cruise in the 3rd battery DV. 2017 probation, fleeing conviction, jail recommendation.
Yes, Sean, in this case, essentially, was born out of him being pulled over for having no brake light. The search incident to arrest revealed that he had marijuana and he resisted arrest. The state just asked for an SOB through the jail, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
No,
Any objection? Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Any objection?
no, Your Honor, we like it, thank you.
Okay, so it'll be a $500 SOB through the jail for the marijuana, $500 SOB through the jail for the brake light, $1,000 SOB through the jail for the obstruction, makes for a total of a $2,000 SOB through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir.
Next, we'll go to position number 8, Kamara Jean.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kamara. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001689Y with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
You said Kamar, what number is this?
Number 8. Kamara, Jean
Oh,
Kamara.
with a C. Yeah, 3rd arrest, 2023, burglary in the 2nd degree, possession of drug-related objects. That's open in Superior Court, 23 SC 191-954. 2022, possession of a controlled substance. Trespass dismissed.
Yes, Sean, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 5189 Wesley Road, where they met with the victim, Miss Kenny Kamara. I believe she is the sister of the defendant. They were having some type of verbal disagreement that turned physical when he hit his sister, who is the victim, in her face. We are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, a 2-day anger awareness, a no contact with the victim, and a stay away from the incident location. Not sure if Ms. Kamara is on the line, but we will sound for the victim.
She's with us. Ms. Kamara, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Oh, I just wanted to be present because I wasn't sure if I had to be present. But yeah, I just spoke to the lady that was supposed to take care of the whole matter, and I told her that I just wanted I never wanted to press any charges against him, you know. We just had like a little family matter and it got out of hand, but he's not like a violent person, you know. That was like a first time thing that ever happened. So yeah.
Okay, you're not afraid of him?
No, not at all. That's my
Okay.
younger brother. I'm older than him.
Okay. And you want to be around him, or you want him to be around you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Thank you
actually
for being.
do take care of him a lot. So yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon,
Mhm.
ma'am. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objection to signature on bond through pretrial, and yet we would like to request yours, no further violent contact. They live together, with his mother, and four siblings, and he is gainfully employed at, Burger King as a cook. And he also is a sophomore at Georgia State, studying for business administration. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1 and no further violent contact.
Be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Ms. Candy Kamara, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Kamara.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes, this is Keith Cook in courtroom 1. I've got to interview a client with a Spanish interpreter here, so we would need her to be, I don't know how that needs to be said.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Chansey. We appreciate you being here with us this afternoon. Let's see. Can we place Ms. Lewis? Can we place Ms. Chansey in courtroom 1 into a breakout room? And courtroom 1, you're not on video, just to let you know. I'm not sure if you know or not. Okay. Who do we have in courtroom 2 that we can take?
Position number 17,
Okay.
Lawrence Jarvis. Jamal.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lawrence. You've been charged in, good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001693Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. 09 expired tag was the last.
Graham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on November 23rd, 2023. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 3390 Fairburn Road Southwest, apartment A14. Upon arrival, they met with Shanta Harris. She advised that she was physically assaulted by her husband, Jarvis Lawrence. She stated that he pushed her to the ground, pressed her face down, punched her 4 to 5 times. Additionally, she mentioned that he threatened her life. Fearing for her safety, she fled to a neighbor's apartment to call for help. Mr. Lawrence was not at the apartment when the officers arrived. Our office has spoken with Ms. Harris. She says she and Mr. Lawrence have been married for 7 years. They have 2 children, ages 3 and 5. They do reside together at that Fairburn Road address. She stated they do not have a domestic violence history. She's not in fear of him. She confirmed the events in the warrant. That there was some personal issues going on around the time of the incident. She does not want to press charges. She does want contact and for the defendant to return to the residence. Your Honor, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond just from the nature of the incident. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Shanta Harris, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We would like to sound from Ms. Shanta Harris at this time, Your Honor.
Yeah, I see Ashante Lawrence on the line. Is that the same as Ms. Harris? Yes, ma'am. Can you unmute yourself for me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. If you raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to tell the court that I would want him back in the residence. During that time, I had just lost my dad. This was our first holiday without him. So we was both 2 individual grieving. Since then, we have talked. Actually, the officer told us to encourage us to talk because he saw that the matter that it was just that we was both grieving. Basically, we couldn't communicate effectively. So since then, we have talked. We have seeked out and located a therapist that's near us. And I want him back in the home. I'm not afraid of him. And we just recently celebrated our anniversary.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Ms. Wills?
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Lawrence is 38 years old. He's resided in the Metro Atlanta area for the past 10 years. He is employed at Altium Packaging, and he's worked there for the past year and a half. He will not qualify to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. He is a high school graduate, and he also has certifications in HVAC, auto body work, and mechanics. He does have 3 children. He's been with Ms. Lawrence for the past 13 years. This incident did happen back in November of 2023. And Mr. Lawrence shared the same as what Ms. Lawrence shared with the court, just as far as they were going through a rough patch. Mr. Lawrence states that they've actually attended counseling since this time, and they haven't had any other incidents. And so we request a signature bond today, Your Honor.
Through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Lawrence, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both, Mr. and Ms. Lawrence.
What was
Excuse
the
me, Your
amount?
Honor. Yeah, we didn't hear the amount.
$2,000 signature bond through the jail.
3 as in 3?
Two is in 1, 2.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Next, we go to position number 23.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Law. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001710C with criminal trespass, simple battery family violence, and battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest. Need a cosign.
Graham?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place. I'm sorry, I didn't write the date down. Law enforcement was dispatched to a domestic dispute at 268 Water Oak Place in Alpharetta. Reference to domestic dispute. The officer made contact with Miss Shayla Nall, the mother of Kayla Nall. She said they got into a physical dispute when Miss Nall, Kayla, the younger sister, juvenile Kate N, used the cup that belonged to Kayla. While they were riding in the car, Kayla hit her mother in the back of the head, then punched her sister, juvenile Kate N, in the mouth, causing bleeding and swelling to her lip and mouth area. Once they got home, Kayla grabbed the charger plate, threw it at the wall, damaging the plate, or breaking the plate and damaging the wall. The 3 of them all reside at the incident location. The state is requesting, Your Honor, signature bond through the jail. Still no further contact with Shayla Nall, no further contact with juvenile Kate N. We've not been able to get in touch with the mother, Shayla Nall. But if she's on, we'd like to sound for her this time. And of course, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Your recommendation is a signature bond through the jail is what I heard, Mr. Graham. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see if Ms. Shayla Nall is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 17 years old, and she is confident that her mother will be willing to co-sign, and yet I have not been able to contact her. I will continuously try to reach her. Hopefully she can come before the hearing gets over. My client is still in high school. She is going to teach for high school. No. I'm sorry. Primiso Preparatory Christian School, and she's expecting to graduate May 18, 2024. She had some MH issues. However, she is under the control. Everything is really going good. And we would like to request for no further violent contact. since her mother is only one parent that she has right now.
Okay. For the criminal trespass, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. The simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. The battery family violence, a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Shayla Knoll, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Next, we have position number 18. Let's see that.
Good afternoon, Ms. Longino. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001717G with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2022, 4 counts of theft by conversion, 1 count theft by taking. That's open in Clayton County. 2012 deposit account fraud dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Publix grocery store located at 3730 Carmia Drive. Essentially, the defendant had shoplifted a 50 piece of chicken wings from Publix. We're asking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from all Publix within Fulton County, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Wow.
Any objection to any of that?
Your Honor, we have no objection to a signature on bond through jail. However, for the record, she denies the allegation and she pleaded for it not guilty. But anyway, yes, no objection for a signature on bond through jail.
$1,000 signature bond through the jail, stay away from all Publix, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Longino.
Next, we have position number 34, Bobby Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001716G with 1 misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Williams, third arrest, 05 DUI was the last, I think. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1487 Acre Street, where they met with the victim, Miss Shatabia Wells. She advised that the defendant invited her into his home. Apparently, he's known for giving children in the neighborhood money. I believe that the victim just turned 18 or is barely 18. Once he had her in his home, he essentially offered to pay her for sex and grabbed her by the vagina. The state is asking for a no contact with Miss Wells, a $5,000 surety bond, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and a stay away from 1487 Acre Street. And of course, we would sound for the victim, Ms. Shatabia Wells.
Your Honor, I should have asked for taking this case at the end of the calendar and also stop the live YouTube stream. I apologize for not being able to oppose early. So we would like to discuss this at the end of the calendar.
Well, we're already in the middle of it and it's already out there.
He denied the allegation and I would like to request for a signature on bond. He is 64 years old and he's retired and he does have a congestive heart failure. So he gets really sick easily because of his medical condition. We would like to request for a signature on bond to replace for him.
It'll be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Wells, stay away from the Acre Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 35, Marvis Wilson. Sir.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001687E with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2023 obstruction.
1 second, y'all. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 848 Myrtle Street, where they met with the victim, Miss Jasmine Patterson. She and the defendant shared a child together. They were having a verbal disagreement that became physical, at which point he hit and bit the victim. This did occur in front of their juvenile child by the initials of JP. For the one count of battery family violence, we are asking for a $2,500 surety bond. To the cruelty to children, a $1,500 surety bond. No contact with both victims. Stay away from the incident location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we assign for the victim, Miss Jasmine Patterson.
Ms. Patterson is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Patterson. If you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
The incident, it started at the Airbnb. I got into an argument with him over something that happened over social media. I started getting loud and screaming at him. I'm pulling his hair. I ripped one of his dreads out. After that, the situation died down a little bit. He went into the other room. He took my phone with him. I waited till he went to go to sleep. I went to go while he went to go to sleep. I went to the room while he was asleep. I tried to grab my phone. He woke up. He told me to lay down. I said no. I wanted to go home. I started yelling at him. As I was getting louder, he started putting his hands on me. And so I went to the living room. I took my daughter's tablet and I contacted my friend. I said, call my auntie, tell her to come get me. If you don't hear back from me, call the police. He had unsent that message and told her that I was good. After that, I went back to the room. He put his hands on me again. I held the emergency button on my phone. It called the police. And as soon as he heard that, he came in the room. He snatched the phone from me. He got on top of me. He started banging on my head, just punching my head multiple times repeatedly and on the side of my face. After he did that, he grabbed all his stuff and he just ran.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Patterson?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, may I please ask Ms. Patterson, are you currently residing with Mr. Wilson? Ms. Patterson,
No,
are you back to Ohio right now?
no, I'm still in Atlanta
Okay, when do you plan to go back to Ohio?
on the 10th.
Okay, Your Honor, my client is 23 years young, and he has been here in Georgia for the last 4 years, and they do not live together. They have one child, 3 months years old, and so he has no objection to stay away from the incident location and have no contact with her. We just want to ask for a third-party transfer so he can see his child. He has been in jail from last Thursday. He was at Atlanta Police Department, and then he was transferred to Fulton County 2 days ago. And we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial. He has been working, and he is also he graduated from high school and he played basketball. He was even featured in the local newspapers because of his successful basketball career. This is his almost first arrest. So we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor.
For the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the cruelty, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Patterson. Stay away from the incident location. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr.
Can I add something? I'm sorry.
Your Honor, can he also have a one-time law enforcement officer escort a visit to retrieve his personal belongings?
Of course, a one-time law enforcement to retrieve any belongings at the Myrtle Street address. Yes, Ms. Patterson.
Um, uh, as far as my daughter, he has threatened my daughter and wished death on her. I don't want any contact with him with my daughter as well. I have messages, screenshots of him going into full detail how he was gonna kill my daughter as well.
Okay, you'll need to work that out with the courts, Ms. Patterson. So you'll
Okay.
need to, okay? This is
Yes.
this is a bond hearing here today. So if you want some additional relief, you'll need to work that out in another courtroom, okay?
Well, Your Honor, I will
Okay.
say if
Thank
he's
you.
not legitimized, he's not entitled to any visitation. So I think that's something that should be included in your order, seeing how it is a cruelty to children.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to let them work that out in another situation. I don't like to keep parents away from children. I don't have any further information on that, so we'll let another court work that out if they choose to. Who do we have next?
Thank you, Judge.
Position number 30, Terrence Simmons.
Good afternoon, Mr. Simmons. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001692D with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17 total. Last arrest was in March. Probation violation. Got an open case in the cab, possession of drug-related objects. Possession of tools for the commission of a crime, loitering problem. 2023 reckless conduct, discharging a firearm conviction. 2021 FTA, trespass. 2018 probation. That's it.
Okay, Mr. Walker.
Sorry, I was muted. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3120 Bayer Street, which is the East Point City Hall. This happened around 11 p.m. in the evening. He jumped the fence that surrounded City Hall, broke into the City Hall building, and barricaded himself and stated he was not going to leave until police arrived. The state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond. I stay away from the City Hall unless he has official government business. We are asking for an MHET, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while bond.
Okay. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is Mr. Simmons, is 35 years old, and he is currently residing with his mother. And Your Honor, he was born and raised here in Georgia. He completed his he studied up to 12th grade, and he's still trying to pursue his GED, and he wants to be a firefighter. And we would like to request for a signature on Butter pretrial if it's necessary. This is criminal trespass, and he was the one who called the police to be protected. However, he's here right now. And we would like to request for a signature on Butter pretrial level 1.
All right, it will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Stay away from the East Point City Hall unless he has official business there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Simmons.
Next, we have position number 28, Gerald Racer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Racer. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001714F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. 2018 sale of marijuana. It's open.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 2460 MLK Drive. I believe that's called the MLK Food Mart. They met with the owner or the store clerk by the name of Talia, Mumtaz. He advised that the defendant came into the location and refused to leave, stating he had lost his marijuana in the store and he was not going to leave until he found it. The state is asking for a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the instant location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out bond.
Objection to any of that, Ms. Wells?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the 2460 MLK Drive address. and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Razor.
Next, we have position number 21, Momon Christopher.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Lamont. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001709A with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Moment, 8 total, 2021 battery DV out of the cab, trespass, cruise in the third, theft by taking. On probation in state court for simple battery. On probation in the cab for simple battery DV. That's all.
Your Honor, this incident took place January 9, 2024. Law enforcement responded to 805 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, Northwest in Atlanta, on a domestic dispute call. Upon arrival, they spoke with Sierra King. She explained that Mr. Christopher Moman grabbed her, would not let her leave. She struggled with her. She tried to open the fence. She sustained swelling to her hand from the incident. Based on the history, Your Honor, in the probation cases, the state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with Sierra King, stay away from the Donnelly Hollowell Parkway address, a 2-day anger awareness course, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And we would like to sound from Ms. Sierra King in case she may be on the line.
King is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Yes, Ms. Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Moman has resided in the Metro Atlanta area for the past 10 years. He is employed. He owns his own barber shop, and he's been doing that for the past 20 years. He will not qualify to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. He is a high school graduate, and he also has also attended college for 3 or 4 years. He has one 4-year-old daughter. Mr. Moman does deny the allegations. He states that the alleged victim, during this altercation, she was upset, and that she was the one who actually attacked him. Mr. Moman has been arrested and incarcerated since this past Wednesday. And so in light of that, Your Honor, I would request a signature bond. He has no issue with staying away from the incident location as he does not live there or not having any further contact with the alleged victim.
Did you mention a Riverside issue, Ms. Wills?
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. I didn't notice.
Okay, you said that he's been in custody since last Wednesday. And if that's on this charge and you are alleging a Riverside issue in this matter, that he should have been released prior to the day, or should have had a hearing prior to the day, I need to know that.
Where were you arrested? Riverside issue. He was arrested Wednesday in College Park and transferred to Fulton County Jail Thursday is what he reports. And this is your first time appearing before the judge, correct? Yes, and he has not appeared before any judge before today. And he says he was not arrested on any other charges.
Okay. Nothing further. It'll be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Sierra King. Stay away from the Donnelly Parkway address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, we have before you Ms. Moreland, position number 22.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Moreland. You've been charged in case 24CR001694J with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 946 MLK Drive. I believe that's at Zaxby's. Her and the defendant, Devin Barber, I believe that they are potentially expecting a child together. They were having some type of disagreement. She came to his job and physically assaulted him and threw a tray of cookies at him. As for the signature bond through pre-trial services, a 2-day anger awareness, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with Mr. Devin Barber, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, Mr. Devin Barber.
Mr. Barber's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Ms. Wills.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Moreland is 20 years old. As it was presented, she has no criminal history. She's resided in the Metro Atlanta area her entire life. She is gainfully employed at T-Mobile. She's been there for 1 year. She will qualify to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. Ms. Moreland is also attending Atlanta Technical College at this time. She does have one child who she shares with the alleged victim. This incident did occur, the alleged incident occurred November 9th of last year. Ms. Moreland states that ever since she requested child support and placed the alleged victim on child support, that there's been a series of harassments and attacks that he's lodged against her. So she does deny the allegations. And so I would request a signature bond, and I also would oppose anger management being ordered at this time, given her lack of history.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Barber. Stay away from the Zaxby's on MLK. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And if necessary, third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck to you, Ms. Moreland. You're welcome.
I'm gonna 15, position
Okay.
15, Jasmine Jenkins.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jenkins. You have been charged in case 24CR001707E with possession of marijuana less than an ounce and giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was 2023 shoplifting out of Columbia County, Georgia. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, just shoplifting. Got an ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission, 2023 FTA, 2022 giving false name conviction, 2021 ag assault out of Fulton. Got holds out of Clayton County, DeKalb, Morrow, and Columbia County.
Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on April 5th, 2024. Law enforcement conducted a welfare check on a Ford Edge that was stalled in the middle of the street on Roosevelt Highway near Route 14. The officer determined that the tag of the vehicle did not match the registration of the vehicle. The registration came out of Pennsylvania. During the investigation, Ms. Jasmine Jenkins walked up to the officer and stated that she ran out of gas. When he asked her for her name, date of birth, she responded with the name of Tatiana Lane, the date of birth of December 4th, 2000. Her profile didn't match the person that pulled up, and she was detained, search instant to arrest, at which point a bag of marijuana was found in her purse and small bags of marijuana were recovered. From her driver's license, it was determined her name is Jasmine Jenkins and the correct birth date. The state is requesting, Your Honor, a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no driving without a valid registration.
No objection to signature bond, Your Honor.
Okay. So for each charge, it'll be a $500 signature bond through the jail, makes for a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Jenkins.
Next is position number 4, Ms. Charlie Bishop.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bishop. You have been charged in case 24 CR 001699H with affray and battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on April 7, 2024. Law enforcement was dispatched in reference to a stabbing at 3311th Street Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the Federal Reserve Police had Charlotte Bishop detained, and they were assisting Victoria Green, who had been stabbed by Mataia Valentine. Federal Reserve Police advised that the three had been fighting in the middle of the street. Ms. Valentine had fled the scene by the time the officers arrived. Ms. Bishop stated that she was outside with her girlfriend when Ms. Valentine started attacking Ms. Green, and she intervened. Ms. Valentine stabbed Ms. Green with a pair of scissors, resulting in lacerations to her hand and her head. Takia Pinakney, Pinakney, advised that Ms. Green and Ms. Bishop were attacking Ms. Valentine. In her attempt to separate the parties, Ms. Bishop bit her on the arm, leaving a bite mark. Our office has spoke with Ms. Takia. She stated that she doesn't know Ms. Bishop, that she and Ms. Valentine were walking down the street when Ms. Green and Ms. Bishop jumped out of the car and began to attack Ms. Valentine. She stated she was trying to break up the fight when Ms. Bishop bit her. She believes that Ms. Valentine, Ms. Green, Ms. Bishop all know each other, and they had a prior incident that day. She wants no contact with the defendant. Our office is requesting Your Honor signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Takia Pinakney and Mataia Valentine, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if Ms. Takia is on the line, we will sign for her this time, Your Honor.
Okay. So who's the victim? Valentine, and is Valentine the alleged victim?
So Valentine is the victim in a different case. I think they were all arrested, and Valentine and Green were charged with aggravated assault. Ms. Bishop with affray for the fight, and the battery was on Ms. Takia Pinakney.
Ms. Pinakney. Okay. So Ms. Pinakney is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated. They were outside an apartment or townhouse they were moving in Midtown. The idea that they would just suddenly randomly attack Ms. Valentine is a bit ludicrous. And we also know Ms. Valentine was the one, according to the warrant and witnesses, that was brandishing scissors and used them on the friend of Miss Bishop. But I know we're not here to try the case at this moment. We have no objection to any restriction or any further contact. I'm sure my client wishes no further contact with Miss Valentine. We would be asking, though, for a signature bond through the jail.
For the affray, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Makes for a total, of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Bishop.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 7, Antoinette Jones.
What number?
7.
Yeah.
Position 7, Antoinette Jones.
Okay, position 7 on my calendar is a Brown.
I'm
Jones
sorry.
would be position 16.
Yes, that's correct. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, you're fine. And this was the cross defendant with position 32, it's my understanding. Yes, Ms. Jones, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001691J with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. History out of Louisiana. 2019 failed to return rented auto. 2019 fugitive from justice, 2016 obstruction, first offender. Wanted out of DeKalb County for simple assaults.
Mr. Graham?
Your Honor, yes, the incident took place April 6, 2024. There's a dispute at 370 Northside Drive. Antoinette Jones and Brittany Ward were engaged in a physical altercation in the apartment they co-leased together. Miss Ward alleges Miss Jones started the altercation by swinging on her unprovoked. Miss Jones does have a warrant out of Decatur for battery in October of 2023. And Your Honor, we're requesting a $500 signature bond, a one-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Brittany Ward, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And I do believe, yeah, Miss Ward was a dual arrest.
Mr. Graham, you said a $500 signature bond?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, $500 surety bond.
Okay. Ms. Wells?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 38 years old. She was born in Atlanta. She is self-employed, and her business is called Max Tax. She's owned that business for approximately 3 years. She did graduate from high school. She has an associate's in finance and business management. She has 4 children, 3 of which are minors. My client states that it's actually she who was on the lease, that the cross defendant, Miss Ward, I believe it is, they were just allowing, so my client and her roommate were allowing Miss Ward to stay with them. She stopped paying rent, which is where the altercation or how the altercation began. But my client states that she was actually attacked by Miss Ward and the unknown male when they came to her home. They kind of ambushed her. She also states that Miss Ward stabbed one of her children, and that her 5-year-old got caught up in the altercation, ended up getting pinned on the floor underneath them in the melee. My client would ask that she be allowed to return back to the residence. As you can see, she's injured. She had 2 black eyes as a result of the attack, was also bleeding. And so I would ask for a signature bond, and would oppose anger management if that was requested. And I would ask for a signature bond, in light of her having the DeKalb County hold.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, one-day anger awareness, no further contact with Brittany Ward. If Ms. Ward is staying at the Northside Drive address, then Ms. Jones cannot necessarily go back there. If Ms. Ward is not staying at that address, she can go back. So one-time escort, either to see if Ms. Ward is still staying there, and if she is, then Ms. Jones is going to have to find someplace else to reside. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Miss. Yes, your client has her hand up, Ms. Wells.
Ms. Jones, I would recommend anything that you say can and will be used against you. So you need to be careful as far as anything that you say.
Yes, the police already escorted Brittany Ward to remove her things from that address. And me and Janicia Vines would not like for her to live there anymore. Because
okay.
And she did all of this in front of my children.
All right, well, you're gonna have to go through an eviction process if that's the case.
Okay.
So, you know, if you evict her, that's one thing, but you all necessarily can't be in the same space. And until you go through the process.
I'm on the lease. I'm on the lease. She's not on the lease.
Regardless, if she's staying at that house, you're still gonna have to evict her if that's.
Yeah,
if
it
that
started today.
Okay, well, you can't go back there until she's not there. It's what I'm telling you, okay? All right, good luck to you all. Well, good luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Position number 19, Melvin Sorrell.
And it's the last name is Melvin, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Melvin. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001708Y with simple battery against a person who's 65 years or older who was pregnant at the time of the offense, simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8 total. 2018 possession of marijuana. On probation out of, what is this, Hiram? Theft by receiving, sale of marijuana. Hold out of Paulding County, a probation hold. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on April 9th, 2023. Law enforcement responded to 285 Howell Terrace, Southwest in Atlanta on a dispute call. Upon arrival, they made contact with Selena Petty. She explained that she'd been co-parenting with the father of her child, Cyril Melvin, and she had allowed him to live at her home until he could find somewhere else to live. While Miss Petty was out of state for the weekend, he was supposed to have removed his belongings from the residence before she got back. When she came home, he was still there gathering the remainder of his belongings. He started a verbal altercation that turned physical when he pushed her and slapped her with an open hand. The victim at the time was 5 months pregnant and sustained a laceration to one of her fingers. Mr. Melvin also threw several items on the front lawn. He threw rocks at the residence. It is alleged that he fired 2 gunshots that Miss Petty heard from inside. Officers were able to recover 1 shell casing that had been turned into evidence. Mr. Melvin fled the scene before the officers arrived. Your Honor, based on the history and the allegation of a gunshot, the state is requesting a $10,000 surety bond. We'll do $8,000 on the reckless conduct, $1,000 each on the 2 other charges. No further contact with Selena Petty. Stay away from the 285 Howell Terrace address. FVIP, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we can sound for Miss Selena Petty at this time, Your Honor.
Ms. Petty's on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Wells?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Melvin is 30 years old. He's resided in the Metro Atlanta area for the past 15 years. He is gainfully employed at Taco Bell. He's been there for the past 4 months. He will qualify to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. He is a high school graduate. He's attended some college and was actually a member of the Air Force for 3 years. He has 2 children, a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. And I'm sorry. This incident did occur April of 2023. I did have the opportunity to speak with the alleged victim. She does want contact and she would like for the charges to actually be dropped and does not wish to prosecute. My client does deny the allegations and states that he did record the altercation on his phone, but he denies ever being physically violent with the alleged victim. I would request a signature bond. My client does have a hold in Paulding County, so he will not be released. And I would ask for no further violent contact between himself and the victim.
And just for the record, Your Honor, our office was not in touch with Miss Petty. Just to let you know.
Okay, thank you. For the simple battery against the person who was pregnant at the time, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. The simple battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Reckless conduct, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Selena Petty, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Melvin.
Thank you, Judge.
Next, we have position number 31. Mason Antoine.
Yeah.
What number is this?
31. Good afternoon, Mr. Slayton. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001715C with criminal trespass, terroristic threats and acts, and battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
11 total on probation for battery.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the Shell gas station located at 496 Plasters Ave, where they met with the victim, Ms. Akib Habib. She explained that she was hit in the mouth by the defendant, who was on the property. He also, one second, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
He also threatened her. The state is asking for and refused to leave. The state is asking for SOB through pretrial services on the trespass. To the terroristic threats, we're asking for $1,000 surety bond. To the battery, we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond. Stay away from that instant location. No contact with the victim, Ms. Habib. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, we assign for the victim, Ms. Akib Habib.
Ms. Habib is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Slayton is 41 years old, and Your Honor, he was born and raised here in Georgia, and yet he currently is experiencing homelessness, and we are trying to connect him with a social worker. He is currently unemployed, and we would like to request for signature on bond through jail. He has no financial means to pay for any bond. So any bond will be, any good bond will be like a no bond for him. We would like to request for a signature on bond through jail or pretrial. And also he denies the allegation, and it was self-defense that he was protecting himself.
All right, for the criminal trespass, a $500 good bond, terroristic threats, a $500 good bond, battery, $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. Stay away from the Chevron, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Also, a social worker visit to assist with housing, Ms. Kim.
Yes.
Good luck to you, sir.
Everyone here in courtroom 2 is for Mr. Cook, so we're just waiting for Mr. Cook to return.
Oh, he's right here.
Right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can go to position number. We can go to position number 2. Sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Abdul Rabbani. You have been charged in case 24 CR 001719F with carrying a weapon without a license. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
What number is this?
Position number 2.
First arrest. He'll need a cosigner too.
Your Honor, this is the second Mr. Rabbani, and he was a conflict.
We have the conflict attorney for position 1, didn't we? That was Miss McLeod's client, right?
Position 1 was Mr. Cook's client, and
My client.
position 2 was conflict, Your Honor.
Well, it's my understanding that we've already heard position number 1, Mr. Hafid, and that Miss McLeod represented him. Am I
I have
mistaken
Mr.
about
Cook
that?
represented.
Oh,
I represented.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. So, all right, and I take it that Ms. McLeod has is no longer with us.
Apparently not.
Let's see, Mr. Abdur Rabbani, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney present today. If you would like to proceed pro se without the advice of counsel, we can proceed today. If you would like to wait until tomorrow until you can have counsel, we'll get somebody for you by then. What would you like to do, sir? Did he speak with anybody about his case?
We spoke briefly, then I realized that it was going to be a
Leave your message for.
conflict. So we referred it to the conflict attorney, and I thought that had been lined up. I know we sent out the request.
Okay, so Mr. Abdul Rabbani, you can proceed pro se today if you would like, or we can wait until tomorrow. What would you like for me to do? Pro se is without the advice of counsel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Graham?
Sorry, Your Honor. So this incident took place April 7, 2024. Mr. Ibrahim Abdul Rabbani was found in possession of a handgun. He's under the age of 21. The state's recommendation is a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms while out on bond.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Graham, what was the
bond, $10,000 surety bond.
okay. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If you have any weapons, Mr. Abdul Rabbani, you're going to have to surrender them as you've been underage to carry weapons. All right, good luck to you, sir.
We can go to the Spanish interpreter case, which is position number 12.
And yes, Ms. Chancey, if you can raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm that you will translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Esquivel Segura. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor Juan Esquivel Segura. Yo soy el juez Eric Morrow y estamos conduciendo esta lista de causas de trato rápido por video. ¿Está de acuerdo que manejemos su caso de esta manera? Yes.
You've been charged with harassing communications and stalking.
Usted tiene un cargo por hacer comunicaciones con hostigación y acecho.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
¿Hay algún antecedente, señor Howard?
Fifth arrest, 2023 simple assault DV.
Él tiene un arresto, tuvo en el 2023 por agresión simple, DV.
2018 simple battery DV. 2010 simple battery DV, simple assault dead docket.
En el 2018 también golpes y lesiones simples, SA. Y en el, I'm sorry, 2013 was the last one, sir?
2010.
Oh, en el 2010.
05 false imprisonment battery DV dead docket.
Y también en el 2005 por falso contenimiento.
Instagram.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place April 6, 2024. Law enforcement was dispatched to 826 Saratoga Drive in Alpharetta in reference to harassing communications.
Este incidente ocurrió el 6 de abril del 2024, en donde las fuerzas del orden fueron enviadas al 827 Park Ridge, y donde se habían cometido comunicaciones con hostigación.
Upon arrival, Marianela Quintero advised that her ex-boyfriend Juan Esquivel Segura was outside of her apartment and was messaging her after being told to halt all communication.
Mariel Quinteros comunicó que su exnovio estaba fuera de la residencia, comunicándose cuando se le había pedido que no lo hiciera.
Marianela was visibly shaking. She further advised that she was in fear that Juan would hurt her.
La testigo estaba temblando y dijo que ella temía de que él pudiese herirla.
The message thread included several voice messages of Juan indicating that he would keep coming back to her apartment, would bang on the door until she answered, and a picture of her front door.
Dijo que él dejó mensajes de voz o grabadas diciendo que él regresaría al apartamento y golpearía la puerta hasta que ella contestase.
The officer advised her to send a message back telling him not to contact her again. Within a minute, he responded with 3 more voice messages.
Ella le contestó a esos mensajes pidiéndole que no continuara comunicándose, e inmediatamente el acusado envió 3 mensajes más.
Marianela was advised to contact the police if he showed up again.
A Marinela se le aconsejó contactar a la policía si él enviaba otro mensaje más.
Our office has not been in contact with Marianela.
I'm sorry, sir.
Our office has not been in contact with the victim.
El oficial de policía no ha tenido contacto con la víctima.
Based on the history, the state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond. That's $500 on each count.
Basado en todo esto, la fiscalía tiene una recomendación de una multa de $1,000 bajo garantía, una fianza, perdón, de $1,000 bajo garantía por cada cargo.
No further contact with Marianela Quintero. Stay away from 826 Saratoga Drive. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Que no tenga contacto con Marinela Quinteros, que se mantenga distanciado de la dirección 827 Park Ridge Lane y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you were breaking up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ms. Chancey, if you could sound for the alleged victim for me, please.
Oh, señora Marinela Quinteros, ¿está presente en la plataforma? Por favor, avísenos, prenda su cámara o salude. Marinela Quinteros, ¿está presente?
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client has lived in the Metro Atlanta area for 28 years. He is a taxi driver, also works for DoorDash. He makes his income is very modest. Plus, he pays support for 3 children. We would be asking for we have no objection to the conditions of the bond. We would be asking for a signature only bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Su señoría, mi cliente tiene 28 años y es un conductor, es un taxista y trabaja también para DoorDash. Él tiene un ingreso modesto y paga pensión alimenticia al menor para 3 niños. No tenemos ninguna objeción con las condiciones de la fianza y solo pedimos que se otorgue una fianza bajo firma solamente en lugar de bajo garantía.
Okay, it will be a $500 good bond per charge, which makes a total of $1,000 good bond.
Se establece una fianza de $500 por cada cargo, lo que da un total de $1,000 de fianza bajo firma.
No further contact with the alleged victim.
No debe tener ningún tipo de contacto más con la víctima alegada.
Stay away from her address.
Y mantenerse distanciado de su domicilio.
No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Se prohíben las drogas, el alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Do we need Ms. Chancey for any other cases this afternoon?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, we appreciate you being here. Thank you, Ms. Chancey, as
You're
always.
welcome, sir. Have a good evening.
Be the same.
All right, position 3, Judge.
Okay, is this a new rotation in the courtroom?
Yes.
All right, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. If you have any objection to us conducting it by video, please let me know when you come before me. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present. If you do not have a private attorney, we're providing you with the services of the public defender this afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Berry. It is Mr. Berry, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001698G with fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, failure to obey signs or control devices, and reckless driving. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. Graham?
Yes, Your Honor, and I will like to note that the possession charge was NOD'd, just for your information.
Okay.
Incident did take place on April 6, 2024. Law enforcement was on patrol in the area when Michael Berry drove away from the location at 1575 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard in Atlanta at a high rate of speed, traveling northbound on Lanier Street. The officer activated the patrol unit's emergency lights in an attempt to have Mr. Berry pull over. Mr. Berry continued at a high rate of speed while there are other cars and pedestrians along the sidewalk and the roadway. Mr. Berry ran a stop sign at Lanier and North Avenue. He ran a red light at North Avenue and Westlake Drive. The vehicle was eventually located at 213 Fairburn Road. Officer made contact with the owner of the vehicle, Aaliyah Simmons. While speaking with Ms. Simmons, Mr. Berry told the officer that he was the driver, that he fled because his driver's license was suspended. Mr. Berry was Mirandized before he made any further statements. Your Honor, the state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, no driving without a license, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
What was your recommendation on the size of the bond there?
Signature bond through pretrial services, no driving without a license, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
We would not object to that, Your Honor.
All right, for the fleeing or attempted to elude $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the suspended license, a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the failure to obey stop sign, a $500 signature bond through the jail. Reckless driving, $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Makes for a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Berry.
Your Honor, what about the, possession of,
It's my understanding that that's been NOD'd.
next we have position number 7, Marcus Brownie.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001700F with criminal trespass and damage to property, battery, family violence, and hindering a person making an emergency telephone call. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13, 2020, drinking alcohol in public out of South Carolina. 2019 probation. 2018, 3 counts of theft by taking NOLO. 2017 probation. 2017 harassing phone calls, trespass, NOLO. 2014 trespass, NOLO. He has a robbery warrant out of South Carolina. Not sure if they coming though. It's on his GCI. That's it.
Ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place April 6, 2024. Law enforcement responded to 5555 Roswell Road in Sandy Springs in a reference to a male attempting to kick a door open. Upon arrival, the officer heard Marissa David screaming for help and entered the apartment. Ms. David told the officer that her son, Marcus Brown, had broke into her apartment, damaged the door frame, and made a hole in the wall but near the door. He also punched a hole in the bedroom wall, and he punched her in the mouth. When she attempted to call 911, he dragged her from the living room into the bedroom, causing a laceration to her knee. Officer also bleeding from her mouth. Our office has spoken with Miss David. She tells us she's the mother of Mr. Brown, that the incident location is her residence. They do not live together. She stated that he was banging on the door at the time. By the time she went to open it, he had kicked it in and began attacking her. She said he repeatedly punched her in the face. When she tried to go outside, that's when he dragged her back inside. She verified that he took her phone to prevent her from calling the police and broke her phone. That he saw that he has some MH issues. He's broken things in residence before, but this is the first time he's been violent towards her. That she is in fear of him and is terrified. She's concerned for her safety. She wants no contact with him and for him to stay away from the residence. And Your Honor, based on the nature of the incident, there were a couple of other earlier violent incidents, ag assault, robbery charges, arrest rather. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond. That's $2,000 on the battery, and then $500 each on the 2 other charges. MHET, no further contact with Marissa David. Stay away from 5555 Roswell Road in Sandy Springs. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And we would like to see if we missed Marissa David if she's on the line.
To address the court, but if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself and I'll need to swear you in. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you can place your hand down, Ms. David. Let me just remind you that we're being live streamed on YouTube. You may not want to place any of your sons if there are MH issues that are there in that type of environment. But I'm happy to hear what you would like to tell me, Ms. David. Go ahead.
Okay, well, he's bipolar schizophrenic and he's on drugs really bad. And when he came here and abused me the other day, I'm so happy the officers came here and got me because he kept repeating over and over he was going to kill me. So,
okay, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry for what
I don't want him back over here. He's not welcome to my house. I was trying to help him. and get him an ID and, stop him from being homeless, but I don't want him back over here.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the condition, any conditions regarding, no further contact of any kind. My client is, residentially challenged, although he believes he will be living with his grandmother for a while in the near future. He is, a person of little or no financial resources, and we would ask for a signature-only bond at whatever level the court, deems appropriate.
Okay, for the criminal trespass, it'll be a $500 good bond. For the battery, a $2,000 good bond. For the hindering a person making a phone call, a $500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Marissa David. Stay away from the Roswell Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I would also like for him to have a social worker visit. Mr. Cook, if he does not make bond, he will be on the April 23rd SAP calendar. And if you would have the attorney representing him, if he's still in custody at that time, report on what the social worker has to say. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. David. You also, Mr. Brown.
Next, we can go to position number 9, Ladarius Clayton.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Clayton. You have been charged in case 24 CR 001701C with simple assault, family violence, and terroristic threats and acts. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
23 total. 2023 out of Mississippi. Abusive language, disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct. 2022 contempt. 2022 malicious mischief conviction. 2017 disturbing the peace conviction. 2015 simple assault. 2015 disturbing the peace, public drunk, failed to comply conviction. These are out of state. 2015 contempt conviction. 2014 simple assault conviction.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place April 5th, 2024. Law enforcement was dispatched to 2801 Felton Drive in East Point. Upon arrival, they were met by a couple of witnesses, Alicia Randall, Tamika Pope, and Fallon Hannon, who advised that they saw Ladarius Clayton wielding a hammer and threatening to kill Rashonda Rutledge. They reported that he told them he was going to kill her, take her car, and drive the car back to his birth state of Mississippi. Ms. Rutledge did advise that Mr. Clayton approached her vehicle while she was at work. He told her he wanted to talk. She saw the hammer tucked in his shirt sleeve and drove off to get away from him. Mr. Clayton was in possession of a black and orange hammer when the officers arrived. Our office has been in touch with Ms. Rutledge. She tells us that she and Mr. Clayton are no longer in a relationship. They do not live together. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that he was living with her at 941 Myrtle Drive, but he no longer lives there. That he's been violent with her in the past, but this is the first time the police have been involved. She is in fear for her safety. She does not want any contact, wants him to stay away from the residence, that he has some items at the home, that she's okay with a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve. Based on the history, Your Honor, the state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond. It's $1,000 on each count. No one-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Rashonda Rutledge. Stay away from 2801 Felton Drive in East Point, also 1941 Myrtle Drive in Atlanta. And no alcohol, drugs, or weapons were out on bonds. And if we may sound for Rashonda Rutledge.
If Ms. Rutledge is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant.
Mr. Cook, your client has his hand up. I'm not sure if you need to address him before we move on or not.
You have the right one, Mike. I would not advise him. Okay, Your Honor, we're fine now.
Okay.
Again, my client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. He certainly has no problem with any condition regarding stay away from the incident location or regarding no further contact with the alleged victim. We would be seeking a signature only bond at the level the court deemed appropriate.
Is this Ms. Rutledge? Okay, for the simple assault, it'll be a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Terroristic threats, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Rashonda Rutledge. Stay away from the Felton Drive address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
And Your Honor, just to clarify, the Felton Drive address is her work address. The 1941 Myrtle Drive is her residence.
Okay, so stay away from the Felton and the Myrtle Drive addresses. Do you have both of those addresses, Ms. Bridgewater?
I'm sorry, I only have the one for Felton Drive. Can you repeat the one for Myrtle?
Absolutely. 1941 Myrtle Drive, Atlanta.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, can you repeat the bond?
Yes, 4,000 for the simple assault, 1,000 for the terroristic threats, 5,000 through pretrial level 2.
Next, we can go to position number 10, Deshaun Daniels.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniels. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001702F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest, 2023 FTA, 2023 open disorderly conduct, 2021 criminal possession of a controlled substance.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on April 7, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a trespass call at the Marriott Marquis, located 265 Peachtree Center Avenue Northeast in Atlanta. Deshaun Daniels was detained by a loss prevention officer after he refused to leave the building. He's been removed from the property several times in the past and was issued a criminal trespass warning a few weeks ago. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from Marriott Marquis, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Your Honor, no objection to the conditions of the bond. We would be seeking a signature only bond through the jail.
It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Marriott Marquis. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I'm gonna let you out, Mr. Daniels, but if you go back to that Marriott, they're gonna call the police again and you'll be right back where you are. You understand me?
Sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we can go to position number 11. Frederick Engelhorn. That was.
Good afternoon, Mr. Englehorn. You have been charged in case 24 CR 001703C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, resident of South Carolina. 2012 battery DV dismissed.
Your Honor, this incident took place on April 6, 2024. While attending a soccer game at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Frederick Englehorn and his wife, Lisa Moody, became angry at each other. Miss Moody left the stadium. She called him a little bit later to tell him that she was headed to the car and that he needed to also make his way there. When Mr. Englehorn arrived at the car, the two continued the argument, became physical when Mr. Englehorn grabbed Miss Moody by the left arm and pushed her. Miss Moody reported the incident to an off-duty officer in the parking lot. Our office has been in touch with Miss Moody. She says that they are married, they live together in South Carolina. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant, stated that this is not the first time that he's been violent towards her. They had a case in Florida about 10 or 12 years ago. She stated there's been no violence since that incident. She's not in fear of the defendant. She's okay with having contact and with him returning to the residence. Your Honor, based on the statements of the victim and the fact that they do live in South Carolina, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond. No further violent contact with Lisa Moody, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And if we may sound for Lisa Moody.
I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
Thank you. My husband and I, like the attorney said, traveled to Georgia on Friday for the game on Saturday. I believe both of our behaviors were exaggerated by the use of alcohol. And if charges can be dropped, that would be wonderful. I do not fear for myself with Rick, and we would like to just go back to South Carolina and go home. Thank you.
Your Honor, given the circumstances and given the comments made by the last witness, we would be asking for signature only bond to the jail, no further violent contact, and that would be it. Nothing more.
Okay. It will be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Miss Lisa Moody. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, we got a position 20, Miles Sebastian.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Miles. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001697A with battery family violence, criminal trespass, obstructing or hindering a person making an emergency telephone call, and 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Hey, did he get a bond for that felony charge today?
No.
I'm not sure. I'll have to. Are you asking the jail?
Whoever. There was no bond. All right. Judge, I'll put it in the chat. 12 total,
Okay.
2023. Battery DV, crude in the 3rd. Got open drug charges and weapon charges in Clayton County. Hold on. That battery DV and crude in the 3rd happened out of Union City. 2020 ag assault, criminal damage to property, giving false name, probation violation. 2016 obstruction conviction. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 2451 Old National Highway, where they met with the victim, Miss Amber Harris. She advised that her child's father and her were in disagreement about who she was texting. He became violent and did strike her in the face. He also took her iPhone and shattered it. This did occur in front of their children. To the 1 count battery family violence, we're asking for a $2,500 surety bond. To the criminal trespass, a $1,000 surety bond. To the obstruction, a $1,000 surety bond. To the cruelty to children, a $1,500 surety bond. We're asking for a no contact, a stay away from the incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I do believe that Ms. Harris is on the line.
Ms. Harris, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
We got 2 kids together. I got a newborn and a 1-year-old. He's not a violent person. The situation in Union City happened back in 2021, 2022, but they didn't put a warrant out for him for 2023. That was crazy. I'm deeply saddened and worried about him because Fulton County Jail is very dangerous, and I don't want him to be in there over a family incident. It kind of escalated. We both going through stuff. You know, his mom's sick. My mom died. We got a lot of stress going on, so it kind of like escalated. But I'm deeply worried about him because I don't want nothing to happen to him.
And can I ask the victim just one question?
And he didn't try to keep me from calling the police. He broke the phone because he seen somebody texting my phone. He never stopped me from calling the police. I have another phone, so I was able to call the police. I think it was just both of us was kind of angry at the time, and I wish I never called because it's other stuff going on, and I see he got new charges and stuff. He already been in jail about that. He did a year about that, but I know there's nothing you can do about that right now. But I'm just deeply worried about him, and I would like for him to come home because I breastfeed and I need help real bad because I got a 1-year-old and a 4-month-old baby, and I don't have nobody.
Ms. Harris, were you the victim in his other case out of Union City? Are you the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ms. Harris, you are we're not able to hear you, Ms. Harris. You're breaking up on us. Ms. Harris, we still can't hear you, ma'am. Ms. Wills?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry? Oh, the judge already told you she didn't hear anything. Mr. Miles is 31 years old. He's resided in the Metro Atlanta area for the past 28 years. He is currently unemployed. He is a high school graduate. He does have 3 children, 2 of which obviously he shares with Ms. Harris. I did have the opportunity to speak with Ms. Harris prior to court today. She did indicate that she does want to have contact and that she is not fearful of Mr. Miles. My client denies the allegations. And that anything happened or any type of altercation occurred in front of their children. I would like to request a signature bond. As was stated, Mr. Miles does not have a bond on his felony charge at this time. And I would also request no further violent contact, especially in light of Ms. Harris stating this incident happened 3 years ago.
This incident allegedly happened, is my understanding, April 7th.
Yes, well, Ms. Harris stated that the incident happened some years ago and the warrant was issued at a later date. So.
No,
I believe that's for
the
right. That's for the other. That's for the other matter, right, Mr. Walker?
That was my understanding, Your Honor, based off of pretrial and off of Mr. Terry's statement.
Okay.
My mistake, Your Honor.
Okay, no, you're fine. For the battery family violence, it's going to be you're going in and out, Ms. Harris. Ms. Harris?
I'm still going out. I have bad service on my phone.
So we're not able to hear you, ma'am. Okay, for the battery family violence, it's going to be a $1,500 good bond. For each of the other charges, each will be a $500 bond. And I believe that makes it a total of a $4,000 good bond. No further violent contact with Amber Harris, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello?
Next, we can go to position number 24, Parker Quintarius.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parker. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001711A with fair evasion and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2022, theft by receiving. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission of a felony. That's open. 23 SC 191707.
Yes, Your Honor, this offense occurred at the College Park MARTA train station. The defendant didn't pay the fare to get on the train, and he was arrested, and he resisted arrest. The state is seeking a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from all MARTA, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Well,
Okay, no objection, Your Honor, to those conditions.
okay. I need a $500 signature bond through the jail on both charges, makes it a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail, and abide by any active MARTA suspensions. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Parker.
Next, we can go to position number 25. Savari and Parks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parks. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001695A with 2 counts of battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got it first. Ian, you got that?
I'll double check for you. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 26 Lakeview, where they spoke with the victim, Miss Ayana McPherson. She advised that the defendant refused to leave her home, and he did strike her in the face. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond to count 1, a SOB jail on count 2, no contact with Miss McPherson, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I'm not sure if Miss McPherson is on the line, but we will sound for her.
Ms. McPherson is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. I see a McPherson on the line. I'm not sure if that's Miss Iona McPherson. Yes, Miss Wills.
Mr. Parks is 23 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the Metro Atlanta area. He is currently employed at Chick-fil-A. He's been working there for the past filet of chicken. I'm sorry. Filet of chicken, and he's been employed there for the past 4 months. He will not qualify for be represented by the public defender's office. He does have his GED. He does not have any children. He states that he's only briefly known Ms. McPherson for a short period of time, that she invited him over and became upset when she saw that he had liked a picture on social media. He says that Ms. McPherson actually smacked him and dumped her food on him, and that he was covered in food when the officers arrived at the incident location. He does not desire to have any contact with her and has no desire to ever go to her residence. And so we would request a signature bond, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. McPherson, if you would like to address the court, I need for you to unmute yourself for me. Raise your right hand.
My apologies.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court, truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Most definitely.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Ms. McPherson. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to let them know that it wasn't like I didn't lash out at him whatsoever. The whole conversation was me trying to get him Uber to get home. While I was trying to get him an Uber, he started verbally abusing me, and that's when I called the police. And if you listen to the police phone call, you will hear where he threw the food on me. He was like, "I ought to throw this on you." You can hear it in the conversation. So him lying about that, like I just started the altercation and was very physically abusive with him, doesn't make sense. I never once lashed out and put my hands on him first. And you can vouch that from the police that came after the situation. So I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you lied.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Anything further from counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, for each charge, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. makes for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. McPherson, stay away from the 26 Lakeview Drive address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, I only have one charge on the calendar.
Oh,
And on his push. 3 cards.
well, let's see. I have 2 charges, Mr. Walker.
It's two on the calendar.
So they're just side by side.
Yeah.
Now,
When
I just have, oh, battery.
Charge. To
So
add
both-
additional charge.
Both batteries are.
Right,
Yes.
that's correct. It's 2,000 off total through pretrial.
I think
level
we
1.
added additional charge battery. That's what it is, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So we clear on that?
Yes, so 2,000 SLB pretrial level,
That's what they're saying.
what level?
Yes, that's correct.
Level 1?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we go to position 33, which is a waiver.
33. This is Michael Wesley, case 24 CR 001686E, charged with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and simple battery against a police officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
29. Last arrest was in February, given false name, PI. 2021 ag assault battery. 2020 trespass, failed to register. And before that was 98 robbery, ag assault. So he got a 15-year sentence. So that explains the gap.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. This case took place at 100 Piedmont. I believe that's the Pettit Science Building at Georgia State University. The defendant was outside of the building asleep. The officer tried to wake the defendant, and when he did, the defendant grabbed the officer by his leg and refused to let go. The officer actually had to tase the defendant to make the defendant let go of his leg. So 1 count of obstruction. We're asking for a $500 surety bond, simple battery against a police officer, a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from 100 Piedmont, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client, Mr. Michael Wesley, is 63 years old, and he is actually in a wheelchair. It's very hard for him to move around at all. So he was bad when I went to his unit, his cell, to interview him. It was actually heart aching to see him suffering from his disability, Your Honor. He does not have any employment. He has no means to pay any bond. And we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial and no further violent contact with officers. Thank you.
All right. For the obstruction, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the simple battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from 100 Piedmont. No further violent contact with the officer. A social worker visit, Ms. Kim, to assist with housing if necessary, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I have a question about one of the inmates, Ron Derek Beebe. He was on our call sheet but wasn't on the calendar.
What was the name?
Ron Derek Beebe.
Your Honor, he's actually been approved twice for PAD.
Oh, we NOD his charges. BB.
You did? Okay, because we couldn't find this 4th shoplifting that records had, so we didn't have a warrant number, so we couldn't do the appropriate bond. But if it's been all NOD,
yes,
we're good. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Okay, what about position number 5? Alex Browse?
5 and 13 were both waivers. So I was just asking about
Oh.
these before continuing.
Oh, okay, all right, so those are the last two that are left, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do position number 5. Alex Browse, case 24 CR 001706G, charged with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Browse?
34. He was arrested in DeKalb County this year for trespass, possession of meth. Open criminal damage to property, 2 counts, trespass out of Superior Court, 23 SC 191913. 2023 probation, 2022 violation of family violence order, terrorist threats conviction. 2022 trespass conviction, 2017 terrorist threats, possession of meth conviction.
Mr. Graham?
This incident took place April 6, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a trespass call at Ragorama, located 1111 Euclid Avenue Northeast in Atlanta. Upon arrival, the general manager, Darius Gibson, advised that Alex Browse started a brush fire next to the dumpsters behind the building. Mr. Browse had previously been issued a trespass warning from the property. He was not on the scene when the officers arrived. Mr. Browse was seen an hour or so later in the area. The officer asked him about the fire behind the building. He told the officer that he did start the fire and that it is his burn spot. Flammable liquid and a lighter were found on his person. The state is recommending signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from Ragorama. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objections to the state's recommendation.
Is he residentially challenged?
Yes, it appears so, Your Honor.
It's gonna be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. I'd like for him to have a social worker visit to assist with housing. Mr. Cook?
Yes, okay.
No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, and stay away from that Euclid Avenue address.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We can go to.
Okay. The next one is position 13, Troy Evans, 24 CR 001704G, criminal trespass. Their history.
13 total. 2024 obstruction, trespass. Certain acts on bus rail prohibited. That's open. Got it. Let me see. 1, 2. You got like 3, 4 different open trespasses. Out of Fulton and 1 out of Dorville. That's it.
Graham?
Yes, Your Honor. April 6, 2024, Troy Evans was observed on the wayside platform at the East Point MARTA station. Mr. Evans has an active MARTA suspension that expires on April 6, 2025. State's recommendation is a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from MARTA in compliance with his active suspension. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
How many open trespass cases does he have?
It's at least 3. I stopped it.
That are active in Fulton? Open in Fulton is my question, Mr. Howard?
Yes. Well, it says Atlanta, but I don't have it could be the city jail, so, but it's at least 3.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, if the recommendation was a signature bond, Mr. Brown?
It was.
We have no objection to that.
$1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from MARTA. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, does that complete the 2 o'clock calendar?
Yes.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I just know the bond amounts for the domestic violence and stuff like that?
What was his name?
Sebastian Miles. My service was going in and out.
Okay.
I gave the information to her in the chat. I guess she didn't look at it. I told her it's a $4,000 total surety bond, Judge.
Okay. Thank you, Ms.
So
Lewis.
Did you look at the chat?
$4,000 surety bond or
Yes,
signature?
ma'am. Yes,
It's a
ma'am.
surety bond.
Yes, ma'am. If you look at the chat, I did direct chat. Are you able to look at your chat?
Yeah, I guess my service is bad. Let me see. I
Well,
see
you know it now.
I
It's a
see the message.
$4,000. It's a $4,000 good bond. Okay?
So is it
Surety
straight
bond.
4,000 cash or is it like 12%?
It's a surety bond, ma'am, not a cash bond.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Ms. Bridgewater,
Yes, sir.
whenever you're ready for
I'm
it.
ready.
Okay.
Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be April the 23rd. Number one is going to the SAP calendar with a total of a $7,000 good bond.
Oh, we saw the.
Position two is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position three, reset notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position four, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position five is a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position six is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position seven is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position eight, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position nine, reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 10, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 11 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 12 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. 13 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 14 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 15 is reset further notice with a total $1,000 SOB through the jail. 16, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 17 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 18 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 19 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 20 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 good bond. Position 21, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 22, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 23, reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through the jail. 24, reset further notice with a total $1,000 SOB through the jail. 25, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 26, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 27 is reset further notice with a total $6,000 SOB through pretrial. 28, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 29, reset further notice with the $3,000 SOB through the jail. 30, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 31 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 32, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 33, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 34 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 35 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Yes, ma'am. What was the breakdown for position number one?
The breakdown for position number one, 5,000 on the first charge and 1,000 on each additional charge.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? If not, thank you all for your hard work today. It's very much appreciated. I know it was a big calendar, but you all knocked it out. So I thank you. I appreciate
And there's
it.
gonna be more on Mondays.
I'll be with you. So,
Guess what? I'll be with you too.
okay.
Take
All
care.
right.
Have a good one.
All
See you all
right.
next Monday.
All righty. Bye-bye.